I guess if you can hear, kindly put it on the chat that you can hear. But for me, I can hear.
Okay. All right, great. So let me continue. Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you. So the person that said it's going up and on our end, please, I think you need to check your system or something. Problem is your network. Yes, that's where the problem is from. So back to what I was saying. When we're carrying out bank transactions, like digital transactions, where you okay, thank you, Victoria. I will slow down. Let's say you want to save your money in the bank, for example. We all know that you have to go to the bank collects your money, they store it for you, and in turn back end, they could start to loan this money out to governments or corporate firms who want to build a certain project and whatnot. And we do not know about all of this. We do not get to gain from it. It's just the bank that gains from it because, of course, they are loaning the money out, so the people have to pay interest and whatnot. But we that have the money, let's say you deposited 10,000 in your account, for example. That time you don't go and withdraw, and you'll be withdrawing 9,999 naira. 1 naira has gone up your money. And still during the process of withdrawal, they could take stamp duty and whatnot. Now, there is this same thing on the blockchain, which I said earlier, and it's called decentralized finance. But this time, the process of your money being loaned out to someone, or you loaning your money or keeping your money in a particular DeFi protocol, you get to earn from it. I'll explain. Now, the blockchain, like I said, there's no third party. It helps us, like someone said it here, like it helps you to carry out transactions without you having to pay, like without you having to have a central body that helps to execute these transactions. In the blockchain space, decentralized finance has made that possible for us to carry out our own normal finance, like anything that's to do with finance, without a third party being there. Through these smart contracts that have been created, like they call them DeFi protocols. There are a couple of them you could go and read about, and it's made possible through blockchain networks like Ethereum, Solana, Silo, and so many blockchain networks that we have. Now, on this blockchain networks, the most popular blockchain network there is Ethereum. I don't want to call Bitcoin. I'm sure people here have heard about it. Everyone has heard about Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is just a means for payment, like just to pay. On Bitcoin blockchain, you cannot build something. Like Ethereum blockchain, where these financial transaction processes, you can build your own protocol on it. Now, there is a platform called Venus, VENUS, that is built on the blockchain. It's actually built on the Binance network, Binance blockchain network. You can read that up. Now, what they do at Venus is they carry out what they call lending and borrowing process. Like, where let's say you want to borrow money from your bank, for example, something like that. That's what they do at Venus. You can come there to borrow crypto, and when you borrow, you have to provide collateral, of course. No, baby, there is no slides, and I'm very, very sorry about that. I was supposed to prepare slides for this, but work got me and I couldn't prepare anything. So, but I'll make it up to you. Let's say after this presentation, I could do something like for the end of today. I'll send it off to Ms. Debbie and she'll send it to you guys. I could do that for us. So, because I already have some rough files, I'll just put things together with everything I'm going to be saying in today's session, and she'll send it off to everyone when I'm done with it. So, I'm sorry, just bear with me. Let's do this together. You're welcome. As I was saying, now on Venus, you're able to borrow crypto assets. Let's say I have Ethereum, for example, and I don't want to use my Ethereum, or I have BNB. BNB is a coin, and I don't want to use my BNB, but I want to carry out a certain transaction because I know that BNB has the ability to, should I say, to pump, like to grow, that's the price to go up. So instead of me using my BNB to do this, and at the end of the day, I'm unable to have my BNB back. What I would want to do is go to a lending or borrowing platform and use my BNB as a collateral to borrow something like USDT. Now, USDT is what they call stablecoin in the blockchain space. Like stablecoins these are basically cryptocurrencies that are tied to the value of dollar. One USDT is equivalent to $1. One USDC is equivalent to $1. There are different types. There is DAI, there's Frax, and so many others. Like all of these stable coins, read about stable coins. They are all tied to the value of dollar. So instead of me to use my BNB coin, my BNB crypto to do whatever it is I want to do, I can say, oh, okay, I want to borrow 1,000 USDC, for example. And of course, normal, see the same way when you want to collect something from the bank, you need to have an asset that sometimes I think about 70% higher than the total amount also that you're borrowing. It's the same thing in the blockchain space. But this time, unlike the bank that you go there and it takes 2, 3, I don't want to say 2, 3 years, but it takes several months before your loan is finally approved. This one is done within seconds, like minutes. Let me not over exaggerate things. Like within minutes, to be able to borrow whatever crypto asset you want to do on these platforms like Venus, there is AAV, and so many others like that. You can just read about all of them. And you go there, you say the amount of USDT or USDC that you want to borrow. You provide your collateral, which is BNB token. And I use the USDT to do whatever it is I want to. I pay it back when I now have the money, and I collect my BNB. And if God is faithful, by the time that you're collecting your BNB back, maybe the price of BNB must have even gone up. So you are now making profits both back and forth, like front and back, you are making profits. Same thing with you lending, you being the one to lend now. Like let's say there's something they call staking and farming in the DeFi space. Yeah, all you have to do is there's a particular protocol where you lock up your specific crypto. Still the same way you lock up our money in the bank, like where you go to put your money in the bank. It's the same thing as staking and farming and whatnot. This time, you are the one giving your crypto coins or your crypto tokens to the particular protocol. Say, I'm giving it to you guys to, like, I'm just using the money. It's not like you go and say it's to the computer or to the platform that you're giving them your crypto. No, but what you are doing in the sense is you're giving them your crypto for them to use to do whatever it is that they want to do. And in turn, there's a specific percentage that you get in. Unlike the bank that, now I'm not talking about Carrywise and Carrywise or piggyvest now. Talking about your real actual bank where you leave your money in the bank because you don't want to use it at that point. Same thing with these points that I'm explaining right now. The staking and farming process. Now you just go there and you lock up your particular crypto as you are lending it to them for them to use it to carry out transactions. And there are different percentage like that they used to pay you back. They could say maybe at the end of the year, they're able to get 30% or 50% or 60%, depending on the particular type of crypto that you're locking up. Because there are some of them that if you want to lock it up, you see just 10%, there are some you see just 15%. But basically, this is DeFi. And still within the same DeFi space, you are able to carry out other things like if you're a content writer, for example, you can still come down and you utilize your skill on the DeFi space because there are different protocols that are coming up. Just like every day we see new projects that are being born in our regular Web2 life. Tomorrow you are seeing, for example, let's say Joy, one, for example, says she wants to build a product. Of course, you're building that particular product. You need a content writer to help you write about your product to educate the masses. You need copywriters to help you sell that product to writing. You need marketers to market your product. Same thing in the blockchain space. Same thing in DeFi. But the only way you can use these skills on the blockchain is if you understand what the projects are all about. It's the same thing when it comes to law. For lawyers, we have big opportunities for you in the blockchain space, like basically advising clients on the right protocols or the right projects to invest their money into, advising these same protocols on the right ways they should carry out their processes. For example, there's one hedge fund in the US called it's not really US, 3AC. 3 Arrows Capital, that's the name of the people. Yeah, hedge funds. Hedge funds, like what they do is basically use your money to trade, and like you go there, you give them your money to help use it like to trade for you. And after a specific months or years, depending on the kind of agreement, they return your money back to you with a specific amount of percentage. That's like specific percent. But they had issues earlier this year. These three AC capitals, they went to go buy a yacht, like with people's money, to show that there was still money, and they did other things with people's money. And at the end of the day, they lost everything. A lot of crypto projects went down because of 3AC capital, 3 arrows capital. So later people found out that most blockchain products, most crypto products were actually, their money was actually with these 3AC people. Now, if we had lawyers, like we had, yes, we had lawyers in the space to help create that balance. Before I go and invest my money with 3AC, of course, my lawyer is the one that would have to tell me if this is actually a good thing to put my money into. And at the time 3AC bought that yacht, my lawyer would have been able to give me an advice to say, oh, this thing that these people do, how sure are we that it's not people's funds that they are using for this? And they would then also go and check. Of course, that's what the lawyers do for us, to make sure we're doing the right thing and keep us in the right path, to keep us in check. Yes, it's the lawyer that now goes to go and check if these people are actually, they really have the money like they say that they do, or if it's investors' money that they are using to do all of this, so they cannot penalize them. But right now, we do not have lawyers. I'll give you another case scenario. There's this friend of mine that was working for a blockchain product, a blockchain company. But I think the agreement was meant to work with them for a year. And I think early this year, when the blockchain, not really blockchain, crypto market went down, the products now said, oh, they were dropping their staff and they weren't going to pay them anymore. Now, this thing, they paid them, I think, for the first 2 months. And the guy said it worked for about 5 months with them before this whole problem. The remaining months, they didn't pay them the money. And that was bad. Because if he had a lawyer, for example, who saw the contract, was there, like when he was signing the whole agreement thing with them, it's a lawyer that would have been able to, like, when this people refused to pay his money for the extra 3 months that he worked and wasn't paid, it's a lawyer that would have been able to come in to say, oh no, that this is that you're going to be penalized. That's like the company, they're going to sue you or something because you didn't pay the money that you're supposed to. Because now you're cheating this person. The person has worked for you, but you're not paying the person. But there was no one to report to, because we do not have Web3 lawyers. Like, we don't have Web3 lawyers in the space that understand the space and be able to, like, talk to all of these protocols anytime they default. Or even, because most times it's not even the protocols that default themselves. We, the users of these protocols, sometimes are the ones who now have long truths, and we end up being greedy and we lose money to a couple of them. So if we actually have lawyers or advisors who tells us, oh no, this is the wrong investment, this is like a wrong investment to go into, this is the wrong financial advice, then we'll now say, okay, if my lawyer who knows everything, like who knows best for me, says not to do this, I won't do it. So, like, there are so many opportunities like that. But then again, like I said, lawyers cannot function if they are not educated about the blockchain space itself. Like, there's something they call on-chain analysis. On-chain analysis is sort of analysis that shows you what is going on in the blockchain. Like, you're able to, we all know that the blockchain is transparent. I think someone said it before, like, where we're able to carry out transactions and we see everything that we're doing. Now, on the blockchain, if you're selling something, there's what they call wallet address. That's particular wallet that is used to carry out that crypto transaction. And if you go and check on chain, like, let's say it's an Ethereum project, they have what they call Etherscan, like blockchain explorers, that shows you the transactions that is being carried out on the blockchain based on the particular network. Let's say I carry out an Ethereum transaction, like a transaction on the Ethereum blockchain. It's something called Etherscan, ETHER. Let me put it on the comments, on the chat so everyone sees it. Etherscan. There's something called Etherscan. I think the website is etherscan.com, etherscan.io. Either of the two, I'm going to call the exact one. Now, on Etherscan, you are able to see all the transactions that has been carried out on the Ethereum blockchain. All you need is this person's wallet address. Now, let's say 3AC, for example. Of course, let's say they're an Ethereum project. If we carry their wallet address to Etherscan to go and see the amount of money, because it will show you that Etherscan will show you that this is the total asset that is in this particular wallet. That's like that this particular person owns. Etherscan shows you what the person received, what the person sent, like whatever transaction that has like taking place within that particular wallet. Etherscan shows you. Same thing for BSC scan, same thing for Soul scan, like different blockchains, they have their own scans like that. They call them blockchain explorers that shows you whatever transaction is going. So let's say seriously now, if there was someone like a lawyer, for example, who has the knowledge of on-chain analysis, which is on-chain, like I said, when you're going to check transactions on the blockchain. And the lawyer now goes and sees that, oh, they check and they now know, oh, there is this money in these people's wallets are not enough. So what are they now using to pay their investors? Like, where is the money coming from? Like, where is the money going to and whatnot? Lawyers were able to ask these questions. Like, it will save people, a lot of people, distress, like, from losing their money to these people, to these protocols that end up coming to steal from people. But we do not have them. So that is why it is very, very important to learn, because the blockchain is broad. Yeah. You could decide to say, oh, as a, like, I think they have different types of law. Those that are very much into marriage, those who are into properties, those that into finance and whatnot. Like, I think law is something like you have different type of lawyers for different purposes. You could now think of the area that you're in. Let's say, for example, you're the type that's I know they used to have specific names they call them, but I can't recall. Those ones that are basically into properties and whatnot. If you're that kind of lawyer, the blockchain technology is here, it's a new technology, and we all know real estate is now a thing on the blockchain. We all know metaverse, yeah, they say virtual reality is a thing now on the blockchain. You as a lawyer can now decide to go and educate yourself more about the blockchain, about the metaverse. Yes, thank you, ma'am. There are various practice areas. You will now go and educate yourself about all this virtual reality to see how you as a lawyer can now come and like make sure that law is being practiced in that particular place, that people are not stealing from people are not taking anything from people. There is a project called Bitland, Bitland. Bitland. It's a project in Ghana, like it's Ghanaians that basically use it for property. We all know these things where you buy a property, a piece of land, and then someone from somewhere comes and says the land is from them, it's for them and stuff, and you've paid, you wasted money, and then you now have to go to court. Like, court case now takes longer, like months, years, to be able to like say, oh, this is the actual owner of the property, because you have papers, this person has papers, but now we're now trying to detect which person's one is actually the correct one. That is why Bitland was created in Ghana. Like, it's a blockchain project that helps to monitor properties, like real estate, basically. You as a lawyer can now decide to say, oh, okay, you're in Nigeria. A project like this is something you should be a part of, so that still on the blockchain, if these properties now are now like being someone else is trying to claim, which is almost impossible, because on the blockchain space, when everything has gone to the blockchain, if it's your own, it's your own. It's now tied to your wallet or whatever ID that you have there on the blockchain. But you as a lawyer, you can still come in to see how you can be a part of this project to make sure that, oh, things go accordingly, the right papers are being signed, like the right contracts are being prepared. Because I didn't know until recently that there are certain words like can, could, will, would, that they have their own meanings in law. Until I think there was a project that was meant to be part of. So I had to like call a friend of mine who is actually a lawyer to help me check the documents. And he was like now settling some things from the contract for me. He was like, I don't understand this statement. So Sarah, this statement is not a direct statement. You have to go back to these people and tell them to say this. He told me the exact words to say to them. And really, when I did it, that was when I now knew, in my head, this is a normal thing. But in the eyes of a lawyer who understands the statement, it is something else. Because at that time, I now knew that, oh, this people were even going to cheat me. So if I had not sent it to a lawyer now, that's how I would have been cheated. Same thing can be done on the blockchain, to be very honest, because most of these project creators, they are smart, they are wise. Once you've executed a smart contract, you've executed it, cannot change. Once you've given access to certain people for your wallets, your, like, it's a particular website on the blockchain. If you've given it, if you signed it, yes, that's what they call it, signing of transaction. If you signed that particular transaction using your wallet, if you signed this for life, like, there's no way it can change. There's no way you can go and retrieve it back. So we need people from the law area, like from law firms, to help us to make sure that we're making the right decisions. We're not dashing our money out to these poor. We're not giving our money out to these greedy ones to come and steal for us. So basically, that is it for how the opportunities that we have out there for lawyers. And now bringing it down to the blockchain space with females, yeah. Females have a voice in the blockchain because, like I always say, blockchain is not sexist. It doesn't even know your gender. But the problem we have is that most females they are not really so involved in it, that they are not, should I say, most females tend to think that the blockchain is something that is really so hard and it's basically for the guys. So at the end of the day, I think before, I don't know, I think figures have increased right now. Back then, statistics show that only 95, like a whole big 95% of participants of blockchain are males and just 5% are females. But right now, I think those figures, like those digits are now coming up. They're now coming up because more ladies are now seeing the light through some female organizations and female communities that helps to educate them. So what I would love to say, like, this is actually a good thing for those that are interns, like those that are part of this training. It's a good thing you're doing for yourself to educate yourself about the blockchain space, because we need so many more people like you. How much more lawyers for that matter? Because the space is getting bigger, it's getting wider, and just the way we are getting smarter, trying to keep ourselves safe to make sure we don't lose the little we have to bad actors, which are like who they call scammers and thieves on the blockchain. These bad actors themselves are also getting wiser and they are learning more. And that is why we really need more of you in our space to come and make sure that everything is being done rightly. Sometimes last week I had the opportunity to be in a training with some security personnel, like some government agencies, and how they can now come and be a part of the blockchain. And I'm really happy that I'm here right now and I'm doing this with you guys, like with the people from the law area, this time not just the security personnel, because for real, it is very, 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 very important. Like, a lot of people have been exploited on the blockchain space. Like, yes, a lot of people have been exploited from blockchain space simply because they do not have in-depth knowledge about it. But like I would always advise, as we've started with this training, I don't know if this is the first training we're doing. I know I'm not the first speaker so far, but I mean, like, if this training in general is our first encounter with the blockchain technology, I would advise that you please take out time on your own to go and learn more. Like my community, for example, women in DeFi, trained females, we've been able to is anyone there? Okay. We've been able to train females from scratch, like from the basics level. Some people who had nothing to a level where they are now able to work with Web3 companies, Web3 projects, based on what they've learned. And I would actually like it out for you, because for each and every one of us here, aside law, what about times where we do not have a case or we don't have a client to represent? What do we do in times like that? The blockchain space is open to everyone, because you could actually learn a couple of skills which you could use as side hustles for yourself to help yourself in times or in periods where you know that on a norms you're not going to be having a client or a case that you're presenting. So learn very much, learn well about the blockchain. There are so many materials out there that you could even. Twitter right now is not a place where you say you find so many educators. There are some people who are writing threads almost every day on Twitter. Is anyone there? Adela. Okay. There are people who are writing threads. Our mic was omitted before. As I was saying, there are people who are writing threads almost every day on Twitter to educate people about the blockchain space. Then there is women in DeFi community, where we hold sessions like this to educate people about the blockchain. Make sure that you are well educated. And now we're not just doing to educate you just about the blockchain, but also trying to impact you, impart you with skills, like equip you with skills that you need to be able to thrive on the blockchain space. Because on the blockchain, that's why we have things like I don't want to say these big words, they might be confusing. We have things like tokenomics, we have things like community managers, we have things like community moderators, where I'm basically speaking in general about the opportunities we have in the blockchain for people. Let's say you want to use it as a side also, like aside your law that you do. We have people called community moderators. Now, community moderators or community managers, what they do basically is to make sure that your community's action is in space. Like, for example, Adela Yongo, that was the host of this webinar, you can still do something like this for a blockchain product, like a new project that just came up and it needs to build people. It needs people to buy into the project. So you could decide to be their moderator where you're the one handling their Telegram community, that's like their Telegram group, or their Discord. You're the one making sure like you're answering questions of people. I think I've been paid so much money. Like there's a girl from my community that I think she earns about $600 weekly, not monthly, weekly. A job, I think she's working like two different jobs. That's the good thing about Web3. From anywhere you are in, this is the good thing about the blockchain. You can earn money. What she does is she just answers questions on the group. If a new person comes to the group, she's the one that tells them, well, welcome to blah, blah, blah. This is what this project is all about. And so if you have any question you want to ask, she's the one that answers you. If the members of that particular group are having problems, she's the one like they talk to, and she in turn goes to the creators or the founders of the particular project, and they are not able to solve the problem. And she comes back to say to people, oh, this is what the founder said. They are working on this. She's the one who makes sure, like, anytime they want to have podcasts or AMA sessions, that's like, ask me anything about the project. She's the one that hosts those sessions. And she's also the one that helps those projects, like, reach out to other communities that can now still help them market the product. So that's like for community moderators and community managers. We have the ones like writers. I think I said this at the beginning, where there's something called white paper in the blockchain space. Like, white paper basically tells you particular details of the project, like everything you need to know about that particular project. There are people who are the ones that write these white papers, and white paper writers, they earn like $2K per job, 2K to 3K, like just to write the particular details. They ask you like, oh, tell me what you are building, what is it all about? And they write the white paper in a way that, oh, even when someone who is new to the blockchain sees this white paper, they're able to easily understand that, oh, this is what the project is all about, without having to go on Google. Because I remember that when I just came into the blockchain space, there's some white papers I used to read because they tell me, go and read white paper so you don't buy into the wrong project. There are some words I'll see, I'll be like, what is this? How do they expect a normal, like someone who is not so well into the blockchain yet, so well grounded with knowledge of blockchain, to be able to understand these words? For every line I read, I'll go on Google to go and check the meaning for a particular word. So there are people right now who are saying that this is a problem that most people tend to like make life hard for people. So there are people now who now wants to make life easy for people to help other emerging projects write white papers in the simplest way. These are for writers. Let's say you're not writing a white paper, you want to just be writing about projects on your Twitter page or on your LinkedIn, like Web3 projects. There are some people who are being paid that, like, personally, I got a job one time. I was paid $400 to just write a Twitter thread on my Twitter page. This is what the thread is all about. All I did was ask, let's say, let me look for another name here. Like Favor Zeno, for example, is doing a project it's a gaming project on the blockchain. So she comes to me and says, oh, Sarah, please, can you help me write a Twitter thread about my blockchain, just my project on your page, so people will read about it and they know about my project? I said, fine. It's a cool way to earn money, but it's only possible when you have good number of followers on Twitter. That's like you have good followings or you are a part of a community. So all I did was write a full thread. I'm sure we all know what threads are. That's like tweets that are connected together. It could be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tweets. Even two tweets are actually threads, like two connected tweets that it's still as a thread. But for the one that we know that, yes, you're getting payment for it, like 6 to 7 tweets connected together, that has formed the thread. And they tend to pay, they'll pay you for it, because if you write the thread, people now see it and they're interested, because your thread is meant to explain the project in the simplest way to people. That is also a way to earn in Web3 space. Then we have graphics designer. Let's say you have a skill with graphics and designs, like, and basically these are normal Web2 skills that people use on the Web2 space, but now they've now brought it into the blockchain space. But the thing is, you cannot do all of these things if you still do not have knowledge about the blockchain, because it will take only someone who understands what Bitcoin is, what Ethereum is, what proof of stake is, what proof of work is, what different consensus mechanisms of the blockchain, what all of these things are about, to be able to come and write them, like when you want to do a writing about it, or when you want to be a moderator. Imagine you're a moderator for a blockchain product and you don't even have so much knowledge, and someone comes up to the group and says, oh, I heard that you people's project is proof of history. And you start wondering, what is proof of history now? Because maybe what you know about is just proof of stake or proof of work. Please, these are big terms, I know, but they are more of like ways which the blockchain is able to validate transactions. They call them consensus mechanisms. That is like proof of work, proof of stake, proof of history, different ways that blockchain can have transactions. Imagine you as a moderator, someone comes up to the group and say, I heard that your project is proof of history. And you are now like, no, we are not proof of history, but proof of stake. And maybe, for example, the project is really proof of history, but because you do not know what proof of history means, you just misled a new person, a newbie that came to the group. So it is very important to learn. And when you are learning about the blockchain, don't just go and learn at what the blockchain is about, the use case. Try to go deeper, like ways transactions are being recorded or validated on the blockchain. These are things you should know, like as a newbie. You should learn about blockchain networks, like what are the most popular blockchain networks we have that people use. You have to learn about how these blockchain networks, how they work or how they function. Learn about types of wallets, like there are decentralized custodial wallets and non-custodial wallets. Learn about all of these things, because these are like the basic knowledge everybody should have about the blockchain technology before you can now think of your own normal sector that you're part of. How can you now bring that to the blockchain? Like engineers now, of course, there are people now, like there are engineers now looking out for ways that blockchain can make their jobs easier. In the health sector, if I do not know about the blockchain as a doctor, I won't know that the blockchain can help me store records of patients coming to my hospital, in the sense that we all know when people go to the hospital and they are sick and they need, first thing they'll say, where's your card? You give them your card. Is that your card? Or they will now go to their place where they used to put heap of envelopes, or that's like patient's details. But they'll now look for you. But on the blockchain, all you need, let's say you have your ID number, or depending on the kind of blockchain that is being used to store those records, for example, they go to their system, they check, type in the number, or let's say wallet address, whatever it is that they want to use as a connection. But when they input it on their system, the name pops up. Same in the law sector, for example. I think there's something they used to call, I think Ms. Debbie, you were the one that once told me about this, where those case files, exactly, case files of people. Yeah. These things, exactly, they can be stored on the blockchain. So instead of, let's say, for example, is it courthouse or the police station or whatnot? Exactly, where they keep these records, for example. Let's say the place gets
the land registry.
Exactly. Let's say the place gets burnt down, for example. Those things are lost. And let's say the owners of those files now, they are still having court sessions. A final verdict has not been passed on their case. So because of those files that have gotten burnt down, some of them end up spending years in prison for things that they probably do not even, like crimes they didn't even commit. The blockchain has come to make things like this easier. Choose a specific blockchain, because they are private blockchains, they are public blockchains. Choose anyone that you say, okay, let's say your friend, you want to use it, for example. So you know your clients are coming, but this is where they are going to be storing their records on the blockchain. So let's say there's this particular person now that has there's already a court session or something this specific day. When they want to say, okay, bring his case file. What you have to do is go online, go to the particular blockchain network, impute the person's file number or case number, the code or whatnot, and the person's details comes up. You see everything there, even the what do they used to call it? I don't know why these words are leaving my head. Oh God, what they present.
No, well, I don't get what you're saying, but are you talking about the archive where the records are being stored, or what part are you trying to refer to?
No, like proofs, like
Your
proofs to
evidence.
show that. Thank you very much. The evidences. I don't know why this word suddenly left my head.
It
Like you
does
want
happen.
to show exactly, and they used to give them like names like Exhibit A or Exhibit B and whatnot. All of these things could be stored up digitally, and they can now save them on the blockchain before they will hear that, oh, this particular lawyer or this person was bringing his evidence to the court and he got kidnapped and they stole everything from him, but he's now here in the court. If all of these things are now put in a digital form and stored on the blockchain, within seconds you send it off to the judge even before you get to the court, and everything has been sent digitally. So even if this my laptop gets stolen, now this is the sweet thing about the blockchain. Even if my laptop gets stolen on my way there, or someone comes to kidnap me, everything has already been sent. They've been uploaded on the blockchain. What even if I am not there? What the judge needs to do is go to that particular platform, whatever platform that they decide to use to store it on the blockchain, and everything is there already. They are already seeing all the details online. So there's no way, like, even if you are kidnapping me, or even if you burn my house down, or even if you burn my cars, there's no way you can still steal these things from the blockchain because they have been uploaded there and they are meant to stay there for life. So I think that's all I have for us today, ladies. Thank you very much for having me, and I believe we've learned a thing or two from my session. At this point, I will be taking questions. Like, if you have any questions for me as it relates to the blockchain, feel free to drop them on the chat box and I will start taking them. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I really appreciate this. Is highly, highly insightful.
You're welcome.
So I know they'll be sending their questions now. And a few of you that will probably want to ask your questions directly, you could just indicate by a raise of hands and we could, I'll unmute you to ask Sarah, the founder of Women in DeFi. So please, you will drop your link, how they can be a part of this community of Women in DeFi.
Sure, I will drop those links very soon. Yeah. So I can see one question there. Can you please share more light on consensus mechanism? Okay, let me quickly talk about it. So the blockchain here, it's functioning like it collects whenever a transaction is being executed or a record is being meant to be stored on the blockchain. These transactions come in what they call blocks. Like this, like the system automatically recognizes them as blocks. And these blocks come, that's how they are being stored in the blockchain. And the next transaction comes, it gets tied to the first block and it now forms the chains, like the rings. If one block has a problem, like those transactions are being kept on the blockchain. If one of them is not correct, let me put it like that, it will affect the others that come after it because it is one transaction that leads to the other, that leads to the other, that leads to the other. Now, as we do not know how this works because these are just they are digitalized, like it's cryptography. These things are done digitally. It's not humans that do it, like it's the software, for example. So as these things are happening, there are people called miners or validators that helps to make sure that the blockchain is running. In the proof of work consensus, this means ways which blockchain transactions are being stored. There are so many of them, like there are so many ways. They have the one they call proof of work consensus. They have the one they call proof of stake. They have the one they call proof of history. They have the one they call delegated proof of stake. They have the one they call proof of bond. So many of them. Let me write one of them's name there. Proof of stake. There is proof of work. Now, these two are actually the most popular consensus mechanism of validating transactions. I will explain what they are. Now, proof of work, which is the second one I dropped on the chat. Proof of work is the way Bitcoin blockchain works. That is the consensus that the Bitcoin blockchain uses. Now, they have people they call miners. They are the ones who mine Bitcoin. So proof of work uses high electricity, and when you used to hear people say they are mining crypto, Those ones will say they are mining crypto with their phone. On a norms, you don't use your phone to mine. Mining is done through machines, like there are machines that are used for it. In Nigeria, I don't think there's even any miner in Nigeria, because like a real Bitcoin miner, because we don't have the resources for that. We all know the state of light power in Nigeria, that it's a big problem. And for you to be able to mine Bitcoin, for you to be able to mine any crypto like Dogecoin or whatnot, you need to have those machines, and they need steady power, because they need to be cooled down, like aircon and everything, to make sure that these machines do not overheat. And in the proof of work method of validating transactions, these machines are being used, like they are connected to a particular software that now helps to solve these high cryptographic equations. That they are mathematical equations, but not like simple maths that we're able to solve with our own head. It's a computer that solves it. So let's say I am a miner. If a particular transaction is coming up, I'm the one that now checks to be sure that, oh, this transaction is corrected. Use my mining machine and the software that I use for mining and all. And I'll check if this problem is correct. If it's correct, I get to earn 1 Bitcoin. So 1 Bitcoin that I'm a miner that is able to solve. I've forgotten the exact number, but something like that. Now there is Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum blockchain is another blockchain. It was using the same proof of work before, until this year that they now moved to the proof of stake. Now, proof of stake is another way of validating transactions on the blockchain that does not require machines, does not require power. All that it requires is you to hold a specific amount of the coin, or should I say of the coins or the tokens of that particular blockchain network. And the way it is done, the person that has the highest amount of the crypto coin of that particular blockchain network is the one that now gets to be picked to validate transaction. I will explain. So let's say this is Ethereum ecosystem. There is me, there is Elizabeth, then there is Praise. Let's say I have 30 Ethereum, Praise has 50 Ethereum, and Elizabeth has like 100 Ethereum. Which of us now decides to lock our Ethereum on the Ethereum blockchain as validators? The only person, and a new transaction comes into the blockchain, the person that will be able to solve that transaction is the person that has the highest Ethereum, and that is Elizabeth, because she has about 100 Ethereum. That is how proof of stake works. It's a kind of consensus that validators lock up their tokens or their coins in that particular blockchain, and the person with the highest coin or the highest number of holdings is now the one that is able to validate these transactions. Not anybody can be validators. I remember talking about staking earlier when I said people give their cryptocurrencies to a particular blockchain network to store it, and you get to earn returns. It's exactly, this is the same proof of stake. The only difference now is that validators are different. That's like the major people, because these are the ones that make sure that the blockchain network is still functioning. For Ethereum, to be a validator, for example, on Ethereum blockchain, you must have a minimum of 30 Ethereum locked up. 30 Ethereum, go and calculate it. You know that's not small money. Like Silo blockchain, I think is 10,000 Silo. Like Silo blockchain, to be a validator, you must there's one form that you have to fill, like to apply to be a validator. Then before you accept it, first thing they'll check is your holdings, because I think you drop your wallet address, so they will not check. You see the good thing about on-chain, so I'll not check your wallet if you have up to that amount of Silo coins in your locked up in your wallets and stuff like that. So when they check, you have the particular amounts. If you pass the other requirements, you can get accepted to be a validator. So that is proof of stake. But there is usually a problem with proof of stake, because the blockchain is meant to be decentralized. So there was no problem that you see that a couple of blockchain networks is the same people that get to be able to validate transactions, because they are the ones that have the highest number of those cryptocurrency of that particular crypto coin. A new type of consensus mechanism was now born out of this. They call it delegated proof of stake. Let me write it out. Delegated proof of stake. Now, what this one does is, it's still the same normal proof of stake, but this time, all the validators now get to choose who will be the ones to validate the next transaction. That's to check if the transaction coming into that particular blockchain is correct. The way they do it, all the validators now, let's say, using the same example, me, Elizabeth, and who was the third person I was using before as an example? Can't remember where the person is again, but let me just use anyone. Let's say me, Favor, and Elizabeth, who are the validators of this particular blockchain that uses delegated proof of stake. So a new transaction is coming into the chain and it needs to be validated. I have, oh, thank you. Jay said this phrase. I have the particular amount of the crypto. Elizabeth has, Favor has, Praise has. We now say, as this transaction is coming, how are we not going to know? We now decide to vote. I now say, oh, the person I want to validate this next transaction is Praise. And that person now comes to say, no, it's Favor. So what they will now do, all of us that are validators will now have to vote by rendering a specific amount of our coins. You could say probably 1 coin for 1 vote and so. So one of us now votes. The person that now has the highest vote between Praise and Favor is now the one that is now chosen as a validator to validate that transaction. So that way, it gets to touch everybody. And like the normal proof of stake, that it's only the person with the highest amount of the locked up token that can validate transaction. For delegated proof of stake, everybody, like, it's able to go around to everybody, because this time, these people now know that, oh, Sarah was the one that validated yesterday, so, or validated this previous transaction. Let's not vote Sarah this time. Let's vote this particular person. It's an algorithm. It's not the one I'm saying it now. You think that, oh, they say it with their own mouth and whatnot. It's an algorithm that does, like, there is a system where all of these things are being coded and created, that it now goes around for everybody to be able to cast their votes. The person with the highest votes validate this transaction. And funny enough, these things are done within minutes. Like, it's not the one I'm saying it now. You think probably they'll deliberate for 1 hour or deliberate for 2 hours or 3 minutes or whatnot. No, it's fast, it's swift, it's done quickly, because the transaction will not wait for you. Like, as this transaction is coming, another one is coming, because people in different areas, different places are using that particular blockchain network. So that is it for consensus mechanism. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Where's the person that was the question? Mustafa. I don't know if I pronounce your name well, Hawa. I don't know if I've been able to answer your question, or you understand it now. Okay, great. Any other question, guys? Questions? Oh, I didn't see this Q&A part. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to about your mind today.
Okay. Please, can I join your community to learn blockchain? Sure, I will drop the link here, the links to the community, so everyone is able to. Oh, wait, let me just look for the link tree. If I can find it, I'll drop it here. The next person, can you explain Web3 better? Now, Web3 is just an upgraded system of Web2. Now, first, you can't know Web3 without knowing what Web2 or what Web1 is. Now, Web1 was the very first technology, in as much as the internet is concerned, that came in. But the thing with Web1 then was you can only read. You can't, should I say, create? Like, you can only read. You can't create or comment on whatnot, the way they used to say it. Then there is Web2, which is platforms like Facebook. Excuse me. We have Facebook, we have Zoom, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, all of these ones that we see now, all these social media networks that we see, Google itself, Microsoft itself, all these various technologies, these are all Web2 products, in the sense that there's a creator and there are people, the readers, and there are people who are able to comment on it. And then there is Web3, the newest type of technology where everybody is a creator. All you need to do is have access to the blockchain network, and you create your project or your whatever it is that you're creating, deploy it on the blockchain network. There is something like WhatsApp. It's in existence in the Web3 ecosystem. I know you'd want to ask, like, oh, what about the creators of this project? Are they not the one controlling it? Because they'll say in Web3, there's no central body. Like, for example, Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg could just wake up one morning and say, oh, I don't want to do Facebook again, and he closes it down. It is not the same for Web3 products, because this time there is nobody that is in control of all of these platforms. The way they are coded, they are created, they get deployed to the blockchain network, so they are kept there running. So let's say Web3 products, like what these people are, the people that are creators, they are just facilitators. So let's say when all of these transactions or whatever it is that wants to occur in all of them that needs payments, it is your wallet. That is the sweet thing about it. Like when you want to check out, let's say you want to carry out an ad on Google, for example, you have to connect your ATM card for the money to be deducted from your bank account and whatnot. For Web3, it is being connected to your wallet address. That is what you need to thrive in Web3, just a wallet. And wallets, we all know it's in everybody's phone or laptop. So when you connect your wallet, let's say you want to post an ad on this particular platform, like OpenSea, for example, is a Web3 platform where people go to sell their artwork, their NFTs. Now, OpenSea is just a facilitator. That's like the people that created OpenSea. Like OpenSea itself is a facilitator, is a medium with which you're able to sell your artwork. It's not a middleman. What they do is just to be able to get you those buyers and sellers and everything to be in one place to make things easy, so everything will not be random and whatnot. And they get their own rewards through what they call royalties. Like, let's say they could say 2%. I think that's the exact, yes, that's what OpenSea did. For all transactions that goes on, they just take 2% of everything that is being sold. Like, let's say I sell my NFT for 100 Ethereum. So 2% of my 100 Ethereum goes to a particular wallet, which was connected to the OpenSea platform itself. So for every artwork or every NFT that anyone sells at OpenSea, 2% of the normal money is being collected to them. That's for them to ensure further marketing of the products, and as well as probably to create other things within the project for people to have better access to it for a better and easier life. Most of the time, and that's the beauty about crypto projects or blockchain products. You see, that's tokenomics I mentioned when I said it's one of the skills, like one of the things you can learn in the blockchain space. Tokenomics shows you whatever money that is being created from that product, whatever it is, the distribution of it. Let's say there's a token. The tokenomics shows you that, this particular amount of the token, like 5% goes to the creators, that's the investors of the project. It shows you that 10% goes to marketing of the project and stuff. Like, there are certain percentage that you see when you see that, the creators or the team, that's the creators of the project, they are collecting 20%. You say, that's too much. People cannot decide not to buy into that project because that's a huge amount. But you see some that will say just like 5% or 10% goes to the team, but every other percent goes to the ecosystem. That's like the community members for marketing and whatnot. So something like that for OpenSea. Those are like the facilitators that makes all of these transactions seamless. Those are the kind of things we have in Web3. So Web3 is just a new technology that has come to enhance your normal skill, like your normal Web2 skill. Me as a crypto content writer, I have to go to Fiverr and make sure I'm known on Fiverr. But then I come to Web3. I'm a writer already. All I have to do is be able to find a project. I show them that, this is what I do. And this is a beautiful thing. They could have like 10 writers, because if the one they have is not functioning well, immediately you get hired. And there are places where you can find crypto jobs or Web3 jobs. I'm using sites to answer Muna's question that says, how do you get jobs on the blockchain? There are websites such as cryptojobs.com. Come in. Let me check, because there is one I recently sent to my community members for them. A link I recently sent to them where they can see jobs. You'll be so fascinated at the numbers of people you see hiring like almost every day on the Web3 space or on the blockchain space. Where is it? Crypto jobs. Is this something now? Why is it so far now? Sorry, I just need to probably drop that one link for us to see. This is weird. Okay. Let me use sections.
Let them come.
Yes, there is one called Crypto Job List. You could just go on Twitter. There is a Twitter page. Let me put the name: CROYPTOJOJOBLIST. If you search for that platform on Twitter, just search for that name on Twitter, Crypto Job List. They post Web3 job updates. They have a website too. It's actually the same name, cryptojoblist.com. That is their website. If you go there, you see different jobs that they drop there, like updates. That's a way to get crypto jobs. But then again, you can't get these jobs if you do not have knowledge about this project, because all of them, they usually say you must have good knowledge about Ethereum, about Bitcoin and stuff like that. Those are the kind of things that they put requirements for people. Then there's another one I saw exactly. This one I was even looking for, Web3 work. This is another place where you can see jobs, Web3 work.co. If you go there, you see UX, like different Web3 projects that are looking for UX designers, like UI UX designers, graphics designers, content writers, and whatnot. So those are places where you can get jobs on the blockchain. So how do you get jobs? Okay, how? Now, for the how, number one thing is knowledge. After you've gotten the knowledge, number two thing is there are two major ways people use to get jobs actually on the blockchain. One is through relationship, another is through community. Through relationship, let's say you know the owners of a particular project, you reach out to them that you want to work with them. That's one way. Another way is, which is like the way that works so well. This is the secret, because in my community, this is like a part that we don't just put out. Now, there's something called, like, when you've learned, you go to a particular Web3, or rather, let me not say Web3, a good community product like Telegram or Discord. These are like popular places or platforms where people come to look for jobs, or they even get jobs, especially Discord. Discord is like one big place, one very big marketplace, but it's very confusing, trust me. You will not even want to use it. But you need to learn how to use Discord to be able to use Discord. People have to go and watch videos on YouTube to understand Discord properly. Now, if you go there, let's say you see a particular NFT project or normal crypto project or blockchain project, and they're supposed to have a moderator. Now, this is a good way to get the job. Now, let's say you notice that the moderator is not doing so well. So what you just do, go and read more about the project. And on the group, when newbies come to ask questions, you quickly answer. You're the one doing the job for the moderator. Trust me, that kind of thing, you go to the DM of the developers, because it always shows, like, you always know the creators of the project. It's always there. They are always one of the admins, or you see it there, like owner or dev as their title on Discord. So you go to the person's DM and say, oh, I'd like to be a moderator for a project. I noticed that you do not have a moderator. The moderator you have is not functioning well. That's a way to get in job. It's so easy. Like here, normal Web2, where we have to like write job application to go for interviews. This one, nobody's going to do interview. In as much as you are delivering something. And of course, because we've been active on their server, that's their Discord channel, their Discord server. They've seen that you're active, you are the one doing the job of the moderator. Trust me, they don't want to give you the job. They'll tell you, oh, this is all we can pay you weekly or monthly because we're a new project. We'll be able to accept the pay or whatnot and stuff like that. That is a way to get a job in Web3. It's as simple as that. So, and some of them, you must have proof of work. Let's say there's a new project, they need content writers, and you go to say, oh, I want to be your content writer. The next thing you say, oh, can we see examples of works that what you've written before, things you've done before? That's where your LinkedIn and your Substack comes to play. Substack is a platform for writers where they write things. Like, just go to substack.com, see different things. Then there's also Medium, where people come to write newsletters and like just written words and whatnot. They write about different things. So let's say you as a content writer can now say, oh, show us your proof of work. Like, let's say the Web3 work you're applying for. Send them your Substack or your Medium link for them to see articles you've written before. Or you're a graphic designer, there's something called Behance, or video animator. I think, yes, Behance is where you drop like your portfolio. Behance, that's Behance. It's Behance that they use as their portfolio place. Like, instead of sending normal CV, it's these things that you send to them. As a graphic designer, you send the person your Behance link. The person sees, oh, the graphics you've done before. Oh, great. They can now hire you for the job and stuff. So it's actually easy to get jobs in Web3 space. But the important thing is you must have, yes, that's correct spelling for Substack. Substack.com, but you know there's no space, right? Like when you're putting a web link, there's usually no space. I'll say you must have knowledge, because all these Web3 jobs, the number one thing they want to know is if you have knowledge about the product. If you do not have knowledge about it, trust me, they will not accept it. And it's very easy to know if a person has knowledge. There are times that they will now start asking you certain questions. And if you're unable to answer these questions, they'll know this person doesn't have knowledge about it. So most of these jobs, they'll say probably have knowledge about Ethereum, probably have knowledge about blockchain in general, have knowledge when it comes to blockchain research, which is what I do a lot. I do a lot of research. That's how I'm able to write for, there's a newsletter, a blockchain newsletter I work for, that I also work for, where I write for them. So if I do not have knowledge about a lot of things going on in space, about research. I can't do that kind of job because it requires me to read a lot about crypto news, like everything going on in the crypto space. I have to be aware of it, be able to explain them in the simplest way to people who want to learn through that our newsletter to know what is going on. So that is it for getting jobs on the blockchain. Are there books on blockchain we can read and learn from? Can you please recommend one? Yes, there is one that's actually not really blockchain, more of like DeFi, which is what we do. Okay. Now this is going to be a tricky thing because there are actually lots of things that I can't send here because it's Zoom. But I have a PDF in my phone that teaches you about DeFi. Something I send to my students, like after normal education from our community, I'll tell them, go, if you want to read more, it's a resource that I got from a crypto analytics page. So I was able to download the whole PDF thing. So, okay, what I can do is, best way to help everyone. I don't know if we have the Telegram app in our phones. If you don't have Telegram, or if you do, go on Telegram and search for this thing I'm putting right now. Women, exactly the way I'm spelling it. Best thing to do is just copy it from. That is the name of my community. Just the way I wrote it there on the chat. Search for that. What I'll do before the end of today, I'll drop the link, the PDFs on the Women in DeFi Community Telegram. So everyone gets to see it and they're able to know, oh, someone that was fast. If one press from here just joined, I am sure the person is from here. But let me drop the link to t.me /weed community. Yeah, that is the link for our Telegram. So you can, yes, that's our Telegram link. So you could use that to search for some Telegram. I'll drop the PDF on the Telegram. It's a general thing. That's where I will drop general things like for people to learn. So you'll be able to like read from that PDF what DeFi is. But then you still need to learn from a tutor who is able to carry you well. Our next session for the BID, we are doing full blockchain class from scratch till January. We currently have a session running now, which won't end until like, let's say, probably December. So, and we are far gone. So it's not something people can still register for till the one we're doing by January. By January, there are lots of people actually waiting to join our next session. So yes, you can learn from there. Who are the users of private and public blockchain? All of us, everybody that uses the blockchain. Now, let me give you the difference between private and public blockchain. Public blockchain are blockchains that are open. Anybody can go there to build on it, like Ethereum blockchain, Solana blockchain, all these blockchains we hear of, Bitcoin blockchain, these are all public blockchain. Then the private blockchains are still normal blockchain, but the difference here is it's owned by a particular firm, a particular company. They'll say this is their specific blockchain for carrying out their policies. Let's say we could decide Nigeria, for example, to say they want to have a particular blockchain for law, for all the lawyers in Nigeria. So they'll know that anything that has to do with law, like everything that has to do with law practices, that particular blockchain they'll use, like those are kind of private blockchains. So not just anybody can go to private blockchains to utilize them. It's only those who have been given access to use them that are the ones that can use them. But for public, it's everybody. Can everyone hear me? Someone just said she can hear me.
Yes, ma, we can hear you.
Okay,
I can hear you.
Okay, ma. All right. So, like I said, public blockchain is for everyone. Anybody can use it. In as much as you have access to the internet, you have a wallet in your phone, a decentralized wallet to be specific, you can use a public blockchain. Then if you are a coder or a developer who understands Solidity, like just like we have HTML, C++, like only developers understand what I'm talking about. In the blockchains, like in JavaScript and whatnot, I'm sure everybody must have heard about JavaScript at one point or the other. JavaScript is a programming language. Now, on the blockchain, there are programming languages like Solidity, Rust. Solidity is the one that's the language that is used to be that they use for Ethereum. So many Ethereum projects, Solidity that they use to build them. If you want to build something on Ethereum ecosystem, you must understand Solidity. So let's say you don't want to utilize, but you want to build. That is where you will now have to go and learn these programming languages to be able to develop something on the blockchain space. So that is it for public and private blockchain. Next question. In the course of teaching, you mentioned that some things that we should study. Please, can you list them? Sure. I will put them. Okay, let me just write them out. Blockchain proper. Like everything you can find about the blockchain, go and read about it. Then you read about blockchain networks. The PDF I'll send to the women in DeFi community to have all of these things, but let me just list them for. Then uses consensus. Read more about consensus mechanisms. Then what else is there that is important? Uses of the blockchain. Uses of the blockchain. Yeah, I forgot one. The blockchain trilemma. Those are like the three major properties of the blockchain. That is what they call the blockchain trilemma. Decentralization, scalability, and security. All blockchains must have those three major properties. So those are the things important things you should read. And after reading that, you should not know about wallets, the types, the kinds, and examples of wallets. Their types, their kinds, their examples. So read about those things because like these are the basic things you need to know. Then let's say crypto. Then about cryptocurrency, and types. There are different types of crypto. There is what they call coins. There's what they call tokens. Tokens are cryptocurrencies that are built on another blockchain, like they run in a specific blockchain. They are built on a specific blockchain. While coins are cryptocurrencies that are native to that particular blockchain. I'll give you an example. Ethereum is a blockchain network. Now, Ethereum has its own coin. That is for anything you want to do on Ethereum blockchain. You must have that particular cryptocurrency to carry that transaction. That's what they call ETH or Ether, or people still call it Ethereum itself. So that's crypto that people call Ethereum. That is the coin of the Ethereum blockchain. Then under Ethereum as a blockchain, people are building things. People are building protocols, those lending and borrowing sites, saving sites, farming and taking sites. People are building indexes, like things where they can store transactions. People are building games. Now, let's say, for example, there is a game called Decentraland. It's more of like a metaverse project. They have a token called Mana, M-A-N-A. It is built on the Ethereum network, but it is a project that is built on Ethereum. So something like that, that kind of crypto is called a token and not a coin. It is not a coin. So coins are cryptocurrencies that are native to that particular blockchain. Like for Ethereum, we have Ether. For Solana blockchain, we have Sol, S-O-L. So people will still call it Solana, like the crypto itself. People still call them Solana and stuff. So that is it for tokens and coins. Someone asked for the properties. Yes, there are three major properties of the blockchain. They call them the blockchain trilemma. They are security. I'm putting it down. Security, decentralization. I'll explain that. I'll explain them anyways. Decentralization and scalability. What this means, first on security, the blockchain has to be secure before it can be called a blockchain. Because, of course, we all know that blockchains are hard to hack. Like they can't, we've still not heard of any blockchain that's been hacked, that's been able to be hacked. Instead, they hack into people's wallets. You get, not the blockchain itself. So the blockchain has to be secured. That's one. Second one, decentralization. It has to be decentralized, not controlled by anybody. Like it is a blockchain that has been deployed into the network, into various computers. Because once a blockchain has been created, it is now distributed into various computer networks, like thousands of computer networks. So nobody controls it. It just keeps running. And that is why nobody is able to go there to go and change anything about it. Then the last one, scalability. So when you say something is scalable, it simply means that in as much as so many people are using that particular thing, the thing will not have any problem. So you get, like, scalability is basically just saying, in as much as there are a growing number of people, growing number of transactions in that particular blockchain, it will not have a negative effect on the blockchain, like it's being slow or being able to handle all the numerous transactions or numerous things that are being done on that blockchain. Like Ethereum is a good example of a blockchain that had issue of scalability. It was secure, it's decentralized. So it was when they were having that scalability problem in the sense that transactions were now slow. It's now caused, they used to call it traffic or congestion. They'll say that the network is being congested. So transactions are now slowing down because there is so many people using Ethereum at the same time, but so many projects were built on it. Because of that, they now had to move to the proof of stake. Then it was on the proof of work. Proof of work is slow because of the processes to be able to validate transactions. So proof of work consensus, most of the blockchains built on it are not so scalable. So that is why Ethereum now moved to proof of stake, because now transactions are faster and is able to take thousands and thousands of people who utilize it. So those are the three properties of blockchains. They call them the blockchain trilemma. And the reason I call it a trilemma is because it's hard to see a blockchain that has all three properties. The blockchain can be secure, it can be scalable, but it will have issues with decentralization. Trust me, it's not a topic we want to discuss here because it is a very long topic. In the sense that, I think I sent it as a direct message instead of sending it to everyone. Let me send it again to you. We talk about a blockchain being decentralized is a very, very long talk that even intelligent people or knowledgeable people in the blockchain, they will find it hard to talk about, because there is a blockchain called the Binance Network that they are secure, they are scalable, but they once had a problem. Before, people were saying it that Binance blockchain is not decentralized in the sense that it's being controlled, that the creators, they have access to what's the blockchain and stuff. But people were doubting it until one time, I think they were it's just last month here that this issue happened. They wasn't hacked per se, but they had a problem. So the only way they could do it was to stop the blockchain for any transaction within that period of time. Now, the truth is, people who do not understand would say it's not decentralized in the sense that they were able to stop a blockchain from functioning for about, I think it was more than 5 minutes. For about 15 to 20 minutes, nothing was working on Binance blockchain. What they actually did was the nodes, which are like the computer networks that are connected, the validators, exactly. They're the ones who actually stopped validating transactions at that point. It's not like it's a sort of, they will say decentralization. Nobody actually controls it. Just that within that period of time, the validators didn't validate any transaction. That was what actually happened. So when it comes to decentralization, they'll tell you that, there's no blockchain that is decentralized, this, that, and stuff like that. So many things, but that's just basically the problem. But scalability, you could see Ethereum, for example, when I said it was secure and it was decentralized, but it has issues with scalability where transactions are now being slowed down until they had to move to proof of stake, but now it's not working very well. Like there's nothing like transactions being slowed, like not getting to people on time. Everything is working very well. So the next question, what does this mean to validate a transaction? It means that you are checking you are verifying that particular transaction, yes, to make sure that record is correct. Remember I said on the blockchain, the blockchain is used to store transactions. So that's what people say. So the best way to know if this transaction that is coming, let's say they say, this person sends 5,000. How sure are we that it's really 5,000 the person sends? That is the value. You are checking, you are validating it to be sure that it's really 5,000. So that's the job of the validators or the miners. Do you get the people that do those things? It's actually the computer that does it. It's just that people are the ones that control it. Those are the validators. So they are the ones to check, to validate that particular transaction. They are the ones to verify that transaction to make sure that it is correct. That is what it means to validate transaction. And not anybody can validate transaction. It's only, like I said, only the validators or the miners that are able to do that. So I have answered Muna. Next question says, can you shed more light on proof of bond? Proof of bond? Or you mean proof of bond? It's actually proof of bond, I said, not proof of bond. Now, basically, what proof of bond is it's still the same way, it's still like proof of stake, but the difference now is as transactions are being like stored on that particular blockchain, they burn the tokens. That's like those coins or tokens. For proof of stake, I said they were locking up the tokens. So now they like use the tokens to buy back more of it, and they burn the excesses. Like they burn a specific amount of it to be able to make sure that the supply of the particular token is being reduced. It's very tricky. It's something that you have to read more to understand, but basically they are burning it. Like what it means to burn in crypto on the blockchain, it means that they are sending that particular coin or token to a specific wallet that is not being owned. So a burn wallet, it usually begins with let me write this, X000000, then you now see some figures after it, like that's burn wallets. Unlike normal wallets that you see starts with OX13 this or OX5C this, like it's usually numbers and figures mixed, numbers and alphabets rather mixed together. But for burn addresses, that's burn wallet addresses, it's OX000000, then maybe you can now see numbers at the end. Sometimes you couldn't even see any number at the end. Those are burn addresses. That's how you know that particular wallet is a burn wallet. So when they say they are burning a particular crypto or a particular token, what they are doing is they are moving some amount of the token to that particular wallet, so nobody will be able to use it. That way, they are reducing the total supply to create to make the token scarce. When something is scarce, it increases the value. Like not just increase, not like that. That's not it works. Sorry. When something is scarce and there is high demand for it, exactly, the value now increases. Imagine BNB, for example, that I use, they do what they call quarterly burn. Like every quarter of the year, they burn a specific amount. The way they do it is, I think all the transactions that happened within that quarter, a certain percentage of those transactions, like they will not take that amount from the total BNB tokens that is in existence. They will not burn it. That like they'll send it to that particular wallet that is just there. And those tokens is now removed from the total amount of the BNB tokens that can be used. That is what is meant by burn. Does venturing into Web3 require coding? I am not a coder, my dear. Anonymous person. I am not a coder. I can't code. It is hard. I'm not a developer. I'm not a programmer. Do you get? So it does not require coding. It's only a personal thing. If you're someone who have interest in it, then that's when you can now go and learn. If you don't have interest in it, you have non-technical skills like writing, like those skills I mentioned earlier, you can now use those skills on the Web3 space. Yes, so you don't really need to code to be able to function in Web3. I read that Ethereum could have partnership or influence with the government for its proof of stake outreaches. Trust me, there are various rumors and things coming up every day, which it's simply because Vitalik is a friend of Vladimir Putin, that's the president of Russia. So people are now bringing rumor that, that Russia has hand in Ethereum. No, what could be possible is that they could say maybe Russia is one of the validators of Ethereum. But if that is the truth, that they are just validators, they are just validators. They are not the owners. Ethereum is a running node, like it is, like I said about the blockchain, that has been created, it is there running. If Ethereum was an exchange now, that is where we would not really be suspecting that maybe there is some truth to that, like exchange, that's like where people go to buy and sell their crypto and whatnot. But it's a blockchain, not an exchange. So that is even impossible. It can't even influence it, and that's just the truth. Can you please explain NFT and its benefits? I don't understand the existence of it. Okay. Now, we all know the problem of, I think, okay, my time is over, but let's quickly do this. Let's say you're an artist, you create artworks, and after doing your artwork, you still need to be able to get a good, what do they call it? Is it museum? Yeah, a good museum or place where you can now come and display your artwork. You need to do your art exhibition. You have to get a place, you have to pay for the place, get probably light refreshments for people who are coming. You're spending so much. But now, in the digital space on the blockchain, they're telling you that, you've done this your artwork, convert it to a JPEG, that's like make it into a picture, and now put it on the blockchain. When you now put it on the blockchain, the only thing what happens now is you'll now go to an NFT marketplace like OpenSea, and anybody anywhere in the world, in as much as they have OpenSea, they are using OpenSea, they can see your artwork and they can now decide to buy it. So it's making life easier. That is what the blockchain is basically doing for everyone. It's making life easy for people. Transactions that you need to leave your house to go and do, the blockchain is helping you to that. Aside that, another thing with NFTs is it gives you a specific identity. Like, we know artwork, for example. I'm an artist. I could decide to this particular artwork, and I'll tell you this is the only piece of it, or like this is one piece of it. Whereas there are like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 different versions of that particular artwork, and people do not know. I'm stealing from people. But for NFTs now on the blockchain, the moment that particular artwork gets to the blockchain, there's a specific ID that comes to it. So let's say somebody wants to create another version of it, it will have to be different. Like, it has to be different. It could be the same face. I'm sure we've seen those apes, for example, but there are always differences. When you go and check their properties, you see there are always something different about it. Is that the ears are different, or the color, like the clothing, or the background, or the eyes, or the nose, the mouth, or whatever it is that is in the body of that particular art. And the moment it now gets to the blockchain, there's a specific ID that goes to it. So anywhere that particular artwork goes to in the digital life or whatnot, even physically, if anybody screenshot, like me, say me, I screenshot it, for example, and I say, oh, this artwork, this is an NFT, I want to own it, it's my own. I screenshot it and I start posting it on my picture, on my wallpaper. The owner of that NFT, if he sees it on my DP or anywhere, he has the right to sue me because he's the owner of it, because he has proof that he is the owner. There's a specific ID that's been attached to that NFT, and that's the good thing about the blockchain. Remember when I mentioned on-chain analysis? So you could go on-chain and check for the ID. All NFTs have their own specific ID. When you check for the ID of that particular NFT, you see the wallet address that is attached to it, like the owner. It will always show owner. If someone else buys it, to show sent to this wallet, or this bought by this is owned by so on, like who bought it, like the next thing you now see the owner. There's one NFT Don Jazzy bought. I'm sure we all know Don Jazzy, the Maven's boss. Like when people are going to check online, then because I posted the picture of it on his Twitter and Instagram, people are now wondering. Some people that went to Bored Apes, their websites on OpenSea, they were able to track Don Jazzy's wallet address, because when they now went to go and check for the ID of that particular NFT, the name they saw there was Don Jazzy. Then they saw his wallet address, which is the wallet address that is holding that particular NFT. That is one of the good things about NFT. And another very good thing is it is non-fungible. For something to be non-fungible means there's something that is called fungible. For example, our Naira notes, Bitcoin itself, Ethereum, they are fungible because you can exchange one Bitcoin for one Ethereum. You can exchange one for the other. But for NFTs, you can't swap one NFT for the other. You can't, just like you can convert your Naira to dollar, you can't convert this NFT to this other NFT because they are unique. Like it's only one of one. They call it one of one. It is only one of one. Just that particular NFT is in existence. Even if there are other pictures that looks like it, there's always something distinct, like that differentiates this one from this one. So no, these two NFTs, they are different. So the people who love art, that's why they'll tell you NFTs are for people that love art. Like people who love art, they understand art very well. It tells a story to them. So they are participants of everything that has to do with NFTs. They are the ones who spend thousands of dollars and millions of naira to buy a particular NFT work because they've seen it, they've liked it, it gives them. And aside that, right now, they are now increasing use cases. That's like things that NFTs could do for people. There are NFTs that you use them to access certain clubs, like Bored Ape Yacht Club, Bored Ape Yacht Club. It's like one of the first most popular type of NFT. There's Bored Ape Mutant Club, or Big Bored Ape Mutant, something like that. If you have those NFTs, there are some gatherings that they do in the US and the UK and different parts of the world. The only way you can access those gatherings is if you have that NFT. I think, was it Elon Musk? I think Elon has one of them. There was one party I know they did then. Imagine you're a normal person that on a norms, if you hear Elon Musk is in this place, you can't have access to it. But because you have that specific NFT, you can go into that place because they say, oh, the only way to be able to access, I think there's a club. Yes, there's a club. There's also restaurants in the US that, like different clubs and restaurants, that the only way you can access those things is if you have your NFT. So you can now go there to do something. So, and those NFTs spend thousands of dollars to buy them. So you get. So it gives access. Then there are NFTs that prove that you attended an event. They call them proof of attendance proof of attendance protocols, POAP, POAP. Anywhere you see the word POAP on the blockchain, like as it affects the blockchain, no, it's talking about a specific NFT that gives you access to a particular event or gathering. Let's say this event, for example, this training. We say, oh, everybody that attended this training, you get an NFT, which is your proof that you partook in this particular training. So you cannot put it on your portfolio or something. So that NFT represents you being here. You get. So that's the way they're able to identify all the people that were participants of this training. They call them as proof of attendance protocol. So NFTs have different uses actually, and that's just it. Next one, how do you convert Ethereum to Naira? That is the job of exchanges. My Ethereum, for example, if I want to use Naira, all I have to do is send it to my Binance account. I have the Binance, that's like centralized exchanges where people can now convert their fiat for crypto and crypto for fiat, on-ramp and off-ramp. It's a big word. You can go and read about it. No, it's not really a big word, it's a small word. Don't get confused. One just means being able to from the blockchain to outside the blockchain. The other one means from outside the blockchain to the blockchain. That's on-ramp and off-ramp. So let's say I'm doing off-ramp. That's I'm going off the blockchain. That's I want to convert my Ethereum to Naira or to any other fiat currency or dollar. What I do is go to Binance or Mara exchange or any of these exchanges, and I send my Ethereum there. I convert the Ethereum to USDT, which is always very advisable. That's like stable coins, ones that I said that they are tied to the value of dollar. And I go to a peer-to-peer, the peer-to-peer part of Binance. It's also a process, so you have to learn how to use this. So, like, how to use Binance. Like, I now decide to sell my USDT to. There are always buyers, there are always orders. You see the specific amount of people, USDT that people want to buy or that people want to sell. When I sell my USDT, they send the Naira to my account. Whenever now this is a good thing about Binance. When the person sends the money to my account, there's something the person presses on his own app to show, yes, I have made payment. To now show on my own app that, oh, this person is showing that this person has made payment. But to now show, confirm you received payment or you have not received payment. So I'll go and check my bank account to see, oh, if the particular Naira has come to my account. I'm explaining peer-to-peer. That it's just because Nigeria, they banned exchange and CBN. The CBN policy, exchanges cannot directly interact with banks. That is why people are using peer-to-peer. But aside peer-to-peer, I'm coming. I'll explain the normal way for you. Let's say the money is now in my account. I now go to my Binance, the Binance interface to click on I have received payment. The moment you click on I have received payment, they'll now send a code that's like for people who have two-factor authentication, a code to your phone number or your SIM or whatnot. You'll now input the code on the platform. After inputting the code, the particular crypto you sold, that amount of it will now go to the person. So now show sent to blah, 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 blah. Done. You click on done. That means transaction has been done. That is for peer-to-peer. Same for buying. If you want to buy USDT, for example, you buy from the same peer-to-peer platform, same way, but this time you're not the one sending the money. So when you send money to the person's account, it shows on the person's side, the person shares his account if he has received the money, clicks on I've received payment, then the person receives the code. When the person inputs his code, particular USDT now particular USDT now goes to the person's wallet. Adela, please, can you make Miss Debbie a co-host? She said her network took her out. Thank you. Yeah, so that is it. But for countries where their government does not have any problem with crypto and whatnot, where you can now do your transactions straight, all you have to do, your USDT or your Ethereum that is in your wallet, you trade it for Naira, like normal trade. Yeah, you trade the way you trade Bitcoin for Ethereum or Ethereum for Bitcoin. So when you can trade it for Naira, then for this old ban, I could do that with my Binance account. Just trade my USDT for Naira. When I trade it for Naira, then my bank account that I linked to it, the particular amount, I can now transfer it to my bank, and immediately it goes to your account. Within seconds, you receive it. Same thing if you want to buy, because your bank account is connected to it. You buy the Naira, it will not show in your Binance account as Naira, then you can now trade it for whatever it is. So that's basically it for converting. Then what is distributed ledger network? Also, is blockchain a trust or trustless peer-to-peer network? I think we've answered this question already. Anonymous attendees, you've asked like 5 questions already in this place. Questions have already been answered from the beginning. I will not answer you again because this particular question is something we have said up to 3-4 times in this place. So what I would say, go and scroll to the chat and you find the answer to it. I don't know anything about this place. Is there like a master class I can get you on how to work my own in this sector? Yes, there is. I think I've dropped the link to Women in DeFi, so you can join the community or something. Our next training is by January, so make sure you're part of it to learn. How does content writing on crypto work? You need to go for a class to learn that part, my dear Mona. To learn. It's still your normal content writing. The only difference now is you need to have knowledge about crypto. You need to have knowledge about the blockchain before you now apply for jobs on crypto projects to be a content writer. So it's your knowledge of blockchain that you have that you're not able to write about that particular project there. So that is it. It's just as easy as that. Where do you go to learn about Bitcoin, Ethereum, as someone who has little or no prior knowledge or experience in this space? I think I've answered that question already. What causes crypto to crash? Crypto does not crash. It's a price that goes down, or you could say it's a price that crashes. And it is usually, there's a word for it. What causes the price to go down is, there's a word, exact word. But let me just explain it. Since I can't get the word, the explanation should now be best. Now,
Sorry, what
causes this? Sorry, like when you say crypto to crash, like when I want to say, for example, it's the fact that people are selling off. Yes, like no, not bearish season or whatnot. No. Like I want to explain that fear of missing out. Don't worry, but let me just explain it for her. Like when let's use Naira, let's remove crypto. Your normal Naira, for example, what causes Naira to crash? Is when they will not say there's so much money in circulation or something, and people are not converting so much of their money to dollar. Is it dollar? Is that it? Yes, no. There's so much dollar in existence, and people are not using the Naira that they're supposed to use for whatever it is that they're using. At the end of the day, you find out that our normal Naira value will be depreciating. Do you get? That's where you now hear that 1 Naira to $1 is about 8.50. Inflation is also a big agent to that. Inflation in the sense that there's so much money in circulation. That is in Naira, like so much Naira in circulation, and cost of living now goes high because there's so much money, but not so much people are using it. That is like inflation. In terms of crypto, I have Bitcoin, for example. When people have made profits from it and they now say, oh, they want to sell off or something, or they hear particular news and they are scared, the next thing everybody starts selling, the price will go down because now people are not converting their Bitcoin to dollar or to USDT. So the price will be going down. Imagine 10 of us who have Bitcoin now. You know, that's like high demand. The price has gone up. And the Bitcoin now, out of the 10 of us that has Bitcoin, these 5 people decide to sell their own Bitcoin. You know, now there's not so much Bitcoin in circulation, just few of us that now has Bitcoin. So the price of Bitcoin will go down because people have sold. Do you get? That's like inflation, like what they call inflation in normal sense. And they'll say so much money is in circulation. That is now it. So out of those 5 people that are holding Bitcoin, 3 more sells. So out of 10 that was holding, only 2 that is holding. You know, now that will not make the price go down. But the moment the 3rd person buys Bitcoin, price will go up small because someone has bought from it. So the one in circulation is now reducing. This person now buys, and so many people want to buy at the same time. This person is coming. All 10 people comes to buy. 20, you now see like 10 extra more people are trying to buy that same Bitcoin. But the normal amount in circulation is now reducing. It will cause the price to go up. So that's basically it. It's not like people will say crypto has crashed. Crypto does not crash unless it's people that do Ponzi scheme. Like where they'll say those people that you want to go and put your money in one place to get rich within 2 days or 5 days. I think back then when people were talking about crypto, that's what made people with crypto. What people were using to advertise crypto then was with crypto you can be rich in 2 minutes. In the next 24 hours, you'll be a big man. It's a big lie. Those ones they just want to steal your money. Don't say put put $5, you make $20,000 within the next 24 hours, or you make $200. It does not work like that. Trust me. Crypto does not work like that. They are all cheating. They're all lying to you. They just want to steal your money. So that's basically it. So I think I have answered everybody's question. Yes. Thank you very much,
Wow,
guys.
wow. Thank you so much, Sarah. Wow,
You're
that's like,
welcome.
I'm short of
You're
words. You have really delved into the nitty-gritties of this whole blockchain crypto space today. And I know that a large number of the interns here today were well touched. I guess some of them are having exams and stuff like that. So they had to drop off along the line. I mean, this is something that I know they were really following with every form of attention that they do have. This is highly educative. We really appreciate you, Sarah. We do really appreciate you. So of course, I'll follow up with all these ladies, amazing ladies here on the WhatsApp platform for them to join the community, your community, because I know there's so much more to learn. In fact, we'll all be joining the community. You know, I have not bothered you about joining because I know I will join eventually. So I mean, there will be so much for them to learn, for me to learn more. I mean, because there's never a limit to what you will. You can't say, oh, I know this part. You just sit and you hear another thing and you're wondering, oh, I haven't gotten that. So I mean, we really appreciate this wealth of knowledge that you have really poured on us today, and we do not take it for granted. And I know, amazing ladies, you are well appreciative of Sarah here today. She has dedicated her time to come here despite her busy schedule. She has a lot of things she's devoted to doing and committed to doing, but she still took out time to be here today to educate amazing ladies like you about the technology, the blockchain, the crypto space, and it's been highly educative. I believe you can attest to that. So I would advise you all to go on the various social media platforms. Sarah, please, you drop your link. They will share the lessons and tag you on the various social media platforms. I know you're on LinkedIn, Twitter, and every other social media that you are. So kindly share these great lessons that you have learned today. Tag Ms. Sarah. And then, of course, you can always follow up with her to learn more and, of course, join the communities. And we'll also advise the rest of the people who were not able to make it to the session today due to exams or one meeting or the other that were not able to be present. But once the recording is ready, we'll share it and you will have so much more to follow up on in rewatching this recording, and then you'll learn a lot and then join the community. These are some of the things we advise you to do. Join great communities like this, and you'll have a lot to learn and you'll have that source of direction. Sarah, once more, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. We do appreciate you and ask that the Lord will bless you and reward you for this time you have come today to teach every one of us here all about the space of the emerging technology, the Web3, the cryptocurrency, and all that you have taught today. We thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah. Sadela, over to you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm sorry, the network took me out for some minutes now.
Oh, sorry about that.
Thank you very much, Ma, for this session. We really appreciate you, and I believe that we've learned a lot so far. Thank you for answering all our questions as well. And we look forward to tagging you and getting to know more in the future from all the websites and even the women